What's up, y'all? Hope y'all doing well. We are back on FRSS. Man, it's almost gonna be, well, it's pretty much gonna be 2 weeks, and that's a great landing by the 370Z. Nice job. It's been almost 2 weeks since I last made a world video, which is pretty insane because I didn't even feel like it's been 2 weeks. Crazy. We are driving the 370Z NISMO, and the story of how I got this car, well, my decision to get this car in FRSS was, I was just randomly scrolling through just cars, and I was thinking to myself, what's an obtainable sports car that I could get in real life for myself and not drive it like this? And I was looking through some options. Obviously there's the new options, which I'm probably more keen to because I would like to have a new sports car, and that's probably going to be either a GT86 or a Miata. In terms of new sports cars, I'm probably leaning towards the Miata because I do like Mazdas more than Toyotas. And then I saw this car, and I was like, wow, this is kind of in the same ballpark. It is a little more expensive and it's used, but this would be sick. And it's gotta be the NISMO for me, because I'm not really a big fan of the normal one, and I don't really want to mod the car. I would like to keep the car the way it was intended to be, and just enjoy it that way. So, and I really love this NISMO, especially this V2. I know more people I've talked to prefer the V1, however I love the V2. I think it has that nice aggressiveness, but also it's not too aggressive, if you know what I mean. And so I was like, let me just get this car in FRSS and drive it. And I think me thinking like that is mainly the reason why we're always playing racing games, is to drive cars that we probably can't get at the moment, you know? But hopefully one day I have the ability to buy this. That being said, who knows how things will be like in the future. You know, there's gonna be so many other obligations and priorities that eventually a sports car is just like an expensive toy. So the toys, they gotta come last. However, this car just, man, looks so good. It's really stiff right now, so I'm just gonna change out the parts. Yeah, we're gonna put some red suspension. To be honest, I don't know how the tuning works in FRSS. I'm assuming red is gonna make it very slippery, which is what I would like. And hopefully that changes that. And just look at this car, man. Just look at it. It's just something about it, you know? I like this car, and I also like the FK Civic Type R. I know that's not like many people's taste. A lot of people I've seen on the internet like the new one, and the new one looks nice too. It's very clean, very cool looking. However, the FK8, it's just so wild, and I really like that, you know. And what is that red car? Is that a Spark Edition car? That looks like a Spark Edition car. I forgot what that was. However, man, that thing looks sick. And shout out to Matillan for joining all these races, Matillan and Zenit. I always see you guys on FRSS whenever I'm playing, and appreciate y'all for participating in the races, having fun. But in terms of competitiveness, yeah, you can see that the 370Z is just not it. This is not what is the best car for this class. It's probably B class. However, no one really races B class in FRSS. It tends to be A class or S class, to be fair. It kind of makes sense because FRSS's like signature shtick, if you want to call it, is the way the cars handle in the sense of speed, and you really only get that when you're driving faster cars. But honestly, considering the fact that this car is probably not even anywhere close to a sub-meta, I'd imagine this is not bad. If I was a better driver, oh yeah, if I was a better driver, I would definitely be doing some damage with this thing. But honestly, this car, pretty nice. I really have no complaints with it because I don't expect anything out of this car. It was quite cheap and it just looks good, so you should definitely get this car for cruising and chilling around. See what we get in rewards. 32k, nice. So let me show the garage actually. You know, we're going to be switching to the Civic Type R. Kind of funny, I was talking about it earlier. And this car, originally when I first had it, it was like below mid. The car really wasn't spectacular at all, and the funny thing is it was like just S-Class when fully upgraded it. However, it was retuned at some point, and by retuned at some point I mean like this is probably like, this is well over a year ago. And it's really enjoyable to drive now. It does have insane wheel spin, and because of that insane wheel spin, it pretty much loses all its competitive advantage. However, it's just such a nice car to drive, and obviously this car, the Civic, this generation of Civic, I feel like because of the fact I've seen this car so much, and especially because it's gray, my favorite color, it has a lot of meaning to it, as well as the person who I know who drives it. So this car does have a lot of sentimental value. Heart. But honestly, like, if I was just a better driver, a lot of these cars on FRSS are viable. Now granted, Matillen and Zenit, they are pretty good drivers. However, a lot of FRSS drivers you'll see, they really aren't. They're not anything spectacular. Just like for me, example, I'm really not anything spectacular. So if you come against a lot of me's, you can pretty much make any car competitive. We are switching to probably the oldest car in my garage, a Skyline R32. And this car looks so clean with a wide body. Shout out to Need for Speed devs, whoever modeled this body kit. It just looks so good. Is it from the run? I'm not even sure. But for those who don't remember, pretty much cars were added in Need for Speed World depending on what the newest game was. So for example, this car came out in 2011 or 2012, pretty much when the run was the newest Need for Speed game, because this car is in the run. And for example, a car like the Panamera. The Panamera was released, I think, in 2012 when Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012 came out, and it makes sense because that's when they had the licenses to make these cars. So it was actually kind of cool that Need for Speed World essentially cherry-picked the licenses and then created the cars into the world, because if you think about it, this is a pretty old game. So this is based off of Most Wanted Carbon. I think it's based off more of Carbon. So most of the cars of this era would probably be around 2000s, late 2000s. This game came out in 2010, so the newest car was probably... Was there a 2010 plus model year car at launch? I don't know. I think one of the newest cars for sure was the Nissan GTR. However, that's the only one I can think of, and even then, that could be a 2007 model because that was in Pro Street. So that's actually kind of interesting. I think I'm gonna look that one up. What's the newest car during the launch in Need for Speed World? But so far, this Skyline, you know, I always kept this car, and it seems like throughout the years, this car really holds itself very well. I think it's still a meta car. If you find it in the meta list on FRS's Discord, it's there. But it's crazy, like all these years, like I never changed the tuning on this car in forever. It's been the same thing, really no changes. I shouldn't have taken that shortcut, because it's not really a shortcut. But there's been no changes done to it, and it just drives great. And it's kind of funny, because one of my earliest videos on Need for Speed World, way back in 2020, I was talking about how the Skyline Wug, because that was the OG tune, was so bad, and someone was like, you gotta get an FRSS because they make the Skyline R33 the way it should perform. And they're right. This car does perform really great. Especially compared to the R33, I do prefer the performance of this compared to the R33 because the R33 is more of a speed type of car. And that thing is fast though, but this is way more of a maneuverable and enjoyable type of car. We got the Mazda Full Ride back, or the Foray Full Ride. Man, I don't know how to pronounce it, but we starting off strong with a crash. How nice. And that's pretty much the advantage gone. Although, I think the C8R is also not really a top speed car. However, it's Matilda versus me, so you already know how the outcome's gonna be. Mazda doing well. I've been trying to get this car to look like the Soul Red Crystal. I personally drive a Soul Red Crystal Mazda. And let me tell you something. That paint, if you're thinking about getting a Soul Red Crystal Mazda, unless if you're willing to be okay with the fact that it's going to be so chipped and it's going to be messed up, and I will only have the car for like 2-3 years, it's gonna be ruined pretty much if you don't take care of it super well, which to be honest, at the end of the day, it's an economy car too. So, and as you can see, I took the wrong turn in the race and pretty much just blew it, so good job to me. However, yeah, be aware if you're trying to buy a Soul Red Crystal Mazda, because it is so difficult to keep clean and maintain. But it is a beautiful color. So if you get one, just like I did, I wouldn't blame you because it's so nice. Even when it's dirty, it looks so nice. And this car is pretty nice as well. Anyways, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a good one. Take care. Bye.